Move on to the reading for today from Something You Forgot Along the Way. And today's story is number 57. Suffering Insults and Persecution, a Necessary Sacrifice. As dusk came on, a lantern-lit stagecoach made its way along a country road in the Old West. Inside, the seats were nearly full, the atmosphere harmonious. As the stagecoach approached the steep and thickly overgrown section of mountain road, uneasy whispers arose among the passengers. "This area is full of gangs," said one. "Lots of stagecoaches are ambushed," said another. "I wonder if you're safe." "This is just the sort of lonely area where it might happen," said someone else. A young man turned trembling to the dignified gentleman sitting next to him. "Is it true? I'm carrying $3,000 that I earned with my sweat and blood. It means my very life. What'll I do?" The gentleman nodded and said, "I have an idea. Hide it in your boot. They'll never look there." The young man quickly followed this advice, and not a moment too soon, just then the stagecoach came under attack. A gang of robbers stormed aboard and began methodically stripping passengers of their valuables. All at once, the gentleman cried out, "This fellow is carrying a fortune in his boot." Overjoyed at these unexpectedly rich spoils, the brigands took off, not bothering with anyone else. The stagecoach continued on its way, none the worse for the attack, but now all the passengers joined in heaping abuse on the betrayer. The young man accused him wildly of being in league with the robbers. The atmosphere turned ugly. Through it all, the gentleman merely repeated calmly, "I'm sorry, truly sorry. Just bear with me a little longer." When the stagecoach pulled into town, the young man's patience wore out and he started to collar the gentleman. "I'm sorry," repeated the older man. "The truth is, I myself am carrying $100,000. Your 3,000 was a great deal of money, but letting it go saved my 100,000. Please accept $10,000 as a token of my gratitude. I hope you will forgive me." On learning the truth, the young man was thoroughly chastened. He offered sincere apologies and thanks to his benefactor. It is well to realize that sometimes in life it is necessary to disappoint others for a time and suffer insults and persecution in order to accomplish a greater purpose. Okay, very good. Yeah, I really like this story, although it might be a little bit controversial. But actually, yeah, a long time ago, there was no train or bus, so just a stagecoach, very rudimentary form of transportation with the horse and the, yeah, the stagecoach. Yeah, and then there were a lot of bandits along the way, maybe probably a few hundred years ago. And yeah, so it could get robbed any moment. And in this way, this became a necessary sacrifice. The older man had to decide in order to uh, protect a greater amount of money, he had to let go of the smaller amount of money. However, he was not a greedy person thinking only about benefiting himself. He all the while he had in his mind to repay the younger man. He paid him more than three times what the younger man was carrying. So it was maybe more than fair. If not, maybe everybody would have lost their money and might have even resulted in casualties. So, yeah, what is good, what is bad, it's not obvious to the untrained mind. Like Shakespeare says, all is well that ends well. Until the end, it's not obvious what is good or what is bad. So it keeps changing. We need to keep that in mind as well. And yeah, so I think how we can apply this story in life is sometimes for us too, if we want to follow our chosen career or chosen path, or even the spiritual path, we want to follow the Dharma, we might get a lot of criticism. People might heap abuse on us if we don't live in a Buddhist culture or community or family. And yeah, we might get a lot of criticism. So we have to gauge the pros and cons. The happiness we are going to obtain by following the spiritual path, it's unlike any happiness we've ever known before because it comes from inside of us, inside out. So it continuously warms the heart. So it's longest lasting out of all the happiness that we know of in this world. Well, true happiness does not fade away or collapse. So if we weigh our options, we realize it's worthwhile, and therefore we can accept it as a necessary sacrifice. Yeah. So unless we have this strong purpose, it's difficult to have a necessary sacrifice. Um, we feel hesitant and reluctant or confused. We cannot take action. We become indecisive. So having a strong sense of purpose, it helps us overcome any hardships. Okay, good job everyone for being here. And today's Monday, so we'll have the Right View Lab, 8 p.m. Pacific time, and have a wonderful start of your week.